Welcome back to Askewed Reviews. And once again, I was very lucky to get an early access screener from my friends over at Terror Films for a movie that comes out later on this month. The movie I'm referring to is the 2025 film Halloween Candy. So, this one is a horror anthology film that has six stories and, of course, the wraparound story itself. Now, that wraparound story is all about a woman who is a writer and she's having writer's block. But things that keep occurring on Halloween are giving her some ideas on creating these stories that she's writing. The first story involves an owner of a haunted house attraction who definitely seems to be a bit of a jerk and might be getting his comeuppance. Next is a story all about why you don't talk to or get involved with strangers. The next one is about a group of high school friends that are trying to contact their friend through a Ouija board. Next is a story about revenge, and that revenge might come in the form of a pumpkin. The second to last story is about dealing with Halloween and trick or treating during the pandemic. And then the final story is all about a blind date. Oh, and by the way, as I forgot to mention this earlier, this movie is directed and written by Douglas A. Plumatalo. So when it comes to my review on this film, I do apologize, I'm going to be a little harsh on this one, only due to the fact that it is a horror anthology, and when it comes to that, you have to have some really good stories, or at least a couple standouts, and unfortunately, I really only felt like there was one story that I even really enjoyed. Now, the reason that I feel this way is that each one of these I felt was just so tame. There was nothing creepy, there was nothing scary. It just had a Halloween theme running throughout each of the stories, but nothing that really made me go, yeah, this is a horror movie anthology. Now, one thing I would almost kind of compare these stories to is Goosebumps or Are You Afraid of the Dark? But here's the problem. I felt that even some of the bad episodes of those shows were better than the segments of this one movie. Now, I will say this. I do think this is a movie you should judge for yourself, mainly due to the fact that I also didn't like the movie Bad Candy, but I've heard that some people do, and I do feel that this movie is very similar to that one. So once this film does come out later on this month on the Terror Films YouTube channel, check it out for yourselves, and then please come back into the comment section here and let me know whether or not you did enjoy it yourself. So at least for me on my scale, I'm going to give Halloween Candy a 2 out of 5. And in case you're curious as to which segment was my favorite, it's the blind date one at the end of the film. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of Askewed Reviews. And once again, thank you Terror Films for sending me another early access screener. I hope you continue to do so, even though I know my review wasn't that great for this one. But I love being able to watch the films that you guys are putting out. And I hope that by what I'm doing, you get a couple more viewers watching the films that you're putting on your channel.